Hello everybody, welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up Unity for VR development. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is download and install Unity Hub. You can get that off of Google, just Google Unity Hub and download it. Once you have it installed, you'll see something like this. You'll have this kind of projects tab you're not going to be able to make anything yet, and you'll see this installs tab. So the first thing you need to do is actually install the Unity editor. So how you're going to do that is go to the installs tab, click on install editor, and then I just pick Unity 6, but you can pick whichever one you like. It doesn't make a huge difference. So for the sake of argument, let's do 6.1. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click a couple boxes here. So first, you're going to want to click this box. Second, this is the most important one. You want to make sure you're clicking this checkbox to enable Android build support. So Android build support, OpenJDK, and Android SDK and NDK tools. All of those need to be installed in order to develop things for the Quest headset. So you'll press continue, and then you'll just keep clicking continue until it starts installing. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to move on to the next part of this setup. So the next thing that you're going to want to do after you have your install is make a new project. So you're going to go over to this projects tab, and then you're going to come to new project, click on it, and then you're going to you'll start here in this all templates, and what you're going to want to do is go to core, and then search core templates for VR. Click on it. You might need to download it off the internet if it's your first time using it, and then name it something unique. So I'm gonna name it VR demo test, and then make sure it's in a location that you want, and then just click create project. So that'll take a second, and after it's done, it'll launch Unity. So we're just gonna wait for that to load. Usually can take a second or two, especially if your computer is on the slower side. We'll actually skip ahead until this install is done. Alright, so after all that loading, you should get dropped into a scene like this. And so what this is Unity's kind of demo scene to show off all the VR features that are built into Unity. And so I think it'd be cool to try this out on our headset. So let's figure out how to configure Unity to actually put this on our VR headsets. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is come over here to your build profiles tab. So that's file, build profiles, right? And what you're going to want to do is, right now Windows is the active one, but we don't want to build for Windows, or we want to build for Android because that's what the MetaQuests run. So we're going to come over here to this Android tab, and we're going to click on switch platform. And this will take a quick second, but after it loads, what it'll do is it'll make it so that every time we build our app and turn it into an executable file, the executable file that it makes is for the MetaQuest instead of for the desktop. So I'm going to leave while this loads, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so it just finished loading. So now all we need to do, right, is take our headset, plug it into the computer, right? And you have to remember your headset that you're plugging in has to be have developer mode already enabled. So if you don't know what that means, ask Mike. So once you plug in your headset, what you're going to want to do is come back to this menu, scroll down a little bit, and find this run device option. Okay, so right now it's set to default device, but what you're going to want to do is click on this and then click Oculus Quest 2, right? And so what that's going to do is every time that you build the app, it's going to send it directly over onto the headset so that you can demo it, and also so that it can be opened later as well. So after you do that, what you're going to want to do is just click build and run. So you can name the file whatever you want to name it. I'm going to name it VR demo tests, and then press enter. And then what it'll do is it'll build your file, send it right on over to the headset, and then once it's there, I'll show you how you can find it within the headset. So after that loading bar is done and your app is now built and moved onto your headset, what you're going to do is take your headset, put it on your noggin, just like that. And how you're going to access your new app is by going into the waffle, going to this unknown sources folder, and finding the app in this list. So we just made VR demo test, so we're going to click on that, and it'll take a second to load, but after it's all done, it should drop us into a space like this. You can click on this over here if you want to toy around with it. And as you can see, the app that we built is now here on the headset, and we're able to mess around with it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's all for setting up VR app development in Unity, and I hope that helped.